Boom. Copy. No. That's one. I don't need to post it there. That's unnecessary.
Posted where?
In the Pixels fan
it's
chat.
not like anyone gives a shit.
Yeah. All right. Okay. The only one left is I gotta post to Twitter because of course I do. Okay.
Twitter is important.
Bam. It is, clearly. It's the most important.
Yeah. Everyone needs to like post their stuff on Twitter so that I can retweet it.
Yeah.
It's like whenever someone uploads a new video, I go to Twitter and look if they posted it so I can retweet it. And then they didn't, and then they don't post it. I'm like, how am I supposed to spread your stuff around if you don't? It's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So we are live. All right.
Yay.
So welcome to the Let's Talk Machinima Podcast, episode 6. I'm your host, your friendly neighborhood speed demon. With me this time is the one and only dRage. Welcome.
Hey, it's nice to be here.
All right. So that's a great intro. I like that one.
Yeah.
Very honest. Very honest and genuine.
I mean, I could have said, oh, yeah, I guess I'm here now. I didn't really care to be here, but yeah, that's good.
Oh, I see how it is.
No, I've been looking forward to this. Even though it took us a while to find a time where it actually worked.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a lot easier now than...
Yeah.
It's a lot easier now than when you
when
live across the pond.
When I go back, then that would have been difficult. Time difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Like 7 or 8 hours.
I'd have to get up like super early in the morning.
Yeah.
It would have not been okay.
It's the only two option. There's no other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
also Highborg. Yes, these podcasts relatively random. I normally can't get that much notice as to when the guests are available. It's just like, okay, I can do it today, and I'm like, oh sweet, cool, I will be there and ready to do this.
Yeah, today was literally, I was like, yeah, I should be back in like 1 to 2 hours, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna be 30 minutes late. So it's difficult.
Which was fine, but whatever. You're here now. We're ready.
And we're live.
You ready to start these? Ready to start these questions?
Questions.
These hard-hitting questions.
I am prepared for questions.
All right, cool. So question 1: how long have you been a part of the Machinima community?
It's a good question. Let me think. When did I start? Like the actual community would probably be around 2008. Like roughly 10 years ago is when I started like uploading stuff to YouTube. I've been making Machinima for quite a while longer, but just like for myself before I had internet. So
okay.
But yeah, the community I joined in like 2008 when I uploaded like my first trailer for like the other Brawl Machinimators, like Mofat, Tigra, and the others.
You got the big two. You're fine.
Well, yeah, there were others, but those are the two I mostly interacted with. I also interacted for like a brief time with Dexter Boy and what's the other guy's name? Guitar Master, I believe he called himself back then.
Yeah.
But that was very, very brief. That was before they like really blew up.
Guitar Master like X7 or whatever.
Yeah. Like I taught them how to do green screening and stuff.
That's a blast from the past talking about that guy.
Yeah. I think he's still around doing streams.
He probably is, but
I don't know.
Just like a lot of people that were in the community at one point, they just kind of
do other stuff.
It's kind of something that people come in, do their thing, and then they leave.
Yeah, they like get their YouTube cloud and then they do other stuff.
Yeah.
Except for me, like, I don't know. I don't want to do other stuff. I mean, there's a few others who like sticked around. Just
Yeah.
mostly everyone from Brawl isn't here anymore. Oh, what's that sound?
Oh, that was my phone vibrated on my
Oh,
desk.
that's loud.
I just got a text. Well, it wouldn't have been as loud, but my desk is metal.
Oh, you have a metal desk. That's metal, dude.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, no, it's a metal desk with like a wood finish. So like, I
Ooh.
think it's wood, and then I smashed my knee on it. I'm like, ah,
Ow,
fuck.
that sounds painful.
All right. So question number 2. So because you've been in the community so long, this question is probably going to be more important towards you.
Yeah.
But how has the community changed since in the time that you started?
Oh, it's changed a lot. Like the biggest change is probably that back then it was all just like cliques, right? You had like different groups, and there wasn't like much interaction between the groups. And then I went on an hiatus for like 4 years, and then I came back in, I don't know, 2016 or something. And now there's this whole big community on Skype where everyone is in a single chat and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, this is new. So that's like probably like the biggest thing. And I feel like nowadays it's a lot more like cooperative compared to like back in the day was like a lot about competition.
Yeah.
Like everyone like there wasn't really much sharing going on with like textures and animations. Like some people shared their like mods in between their groups, but there wasn't much overlap.
No, I agree. It was definitely like you had your little
Yeah.
niche group, and then
I mean, we still have
pretty much
that,
it.
but there's like a lot more like in between now, I feel. With like the community chat that we have, especially on Discord with all the different channels and all the dedicated things we have now. And it was like the streams that Isaiah is doing. I feel like
where you just marathon a whole bunch of stuff.
I feel like the first
asleep.
really big one he did where it went on for like 4 or 5 hours and people like suggested videos beforehand.
Oh my god, yeah, I remember that. I was a part of that stream.
And I feel like that really brought the community together a lot more than it was before that.
Yeah, we had people from like all the big machinima groups in there. We had Virtual Smash, Digital Shadows, Retro Pixels. Obviously, there's a couple more now, but this was like, already a few years ago. Yeah,
pretty much everyone who was anyone in the machinima community was in that stream, and all in a single call, and it was crazy.
Yeah, I remember, I was one of the last people that was still in the call when the stream was like just ending.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I talked to Mickey Merck.
That's crazy.
And it's just like,
I mean, for
these
me,
people that like
I think when I got off the call, it was like 6 a.m. or something for me, or even earlier.
Yeah, I was impressed that you actually came out to the stream because of the massive time zone gap.
Yeah, but this was such a big event. I really wanted to be part of it. It's like it's very hard for me to catch their streams normally. It's been pretty cool to like actually interact with people normally while I've been here in Canada.
It might be I might be like not remembering properly, but wasn't that stream where you debuted like the voice acting episode for your episode 1?
Did I? I'm not sure. Might have. I don't think I've ever debuted a full episode on a stream. I think I've only like put out trailers on like for the first time on streams, like the trailer for episode.
Maybe you had
2.
maybe you had like recently uploaded it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I uploaded it like a week or a few days before that, and then it was on the stream. So it was for a lot of people, it was probably their first time seeing it. But also other changes, there's a lot more people now than there was back then.
Yeah.
It's so much more diverse now. Also like in terms of types of machinima there. Back then we had like comedy, and for a long time, comedy was all there was, right? You had like some more serious stuff, and some more like, I don't know, not exactly like super serious, like, well, at least not 100% comedy.
Yeah.
And then, but for a long time, it was all comedy. And now you have like a lot of different kind of types of genres.
Yeah.
Overall,
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Go on.
No, I was gonna say I absolutely noticed that there's like a lot more people doing different things and maybe trying to get out of their comfort zone. I mean, I think comedy is still kind of like
it's
dominant.
Yeah, it's like the king of Smash Machinima. It's probably always going to be, because it just lends itself so well to comedy. Because of like all the wacky interactions and situations you can create with Smash Brothers.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of easy to make something silly when it's, in essence, obviously there's more to it now, but like a game series that kind of started as like a fun party game, of course, is going to have wacky stuff that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Any closing thoughts on how things have changed, or do you want to move on to the next one?
Closing thoughts on how things have changed. Let me think for a moment. Well, overall, it's a very positive change. Like, if I had to like draw a final conclusion, I like it a lot better now than back in the day. I mean, the only downside is that YouTube was much smaller when we started. Like, especially when I started back in 2008, YouTube has only been around like for 2 years, I think. So
something like that.
If you wanted to find an audience, it was a lot easier. Like, if you compare, for example, if I go to my channel and compare like the views and comments I got on my earliest videos to like what I get now, it's like night and day. So while the community has gotten bigger, I feel like the audience has gotten smaller, because YouTube isn't really about like content like Machinima, which takes a lot of time to produce. It's all about content that is quick and easy to make now.
Yeah, that's why stuff like vlogs and like Let's Plays and stuff are so dominant, whereas stuff like Machinima and animations is just you can't keep up anymore.
Yeah, you have to like go viral. It's the only way to really increase your audience a substantial amount nowadays. And that's like the only downside. Everything else I think is much better today in the community, and like that's not even the community's fault. It's just the state of Machinima in general. Yeah, overall I think the community is much better off than it was back then. Especially now was like Ultimate being so easy to machinimate. It's just gonna get better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I 100% agree that it's better now than it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, who would you say is your biggest inspiration for making Machinima?
Biggest inspiration.
Who, I guess to make this a better question, like who or what is your biggest inspiration? Because I know sometimes not a specific person would.
There's a lot of things that inspired me. I mean, what originally inspired me to make Smash Bros. Machinima, like, started with like the N64 game to make like videos on VHS, and then have like you had like scenes in the game, and then you had like scenes like kind of like silent films. I did the dialogue in Mario Paint in between, and that was like around the time when Dragon Ball was becoming like big in Germany. So that was like my biggest influence. Like pretty much ever since I started making Smash Brothers Machinima, it has always been influenced by Dragon Ball. Because I just wanted to like recreate that feeling.
I couldn't get that from the
the
series title.
Yeah, I mean, like, me and my friends back in the day, we would always do like tournaments because, well, Dragon Ball had tournaments. And like all of my earliest like machinima stuff that's on VHS is all tournament based. Like you had a tournament with like a few characters, and then there was like this evil guy who joined the tournament, which back in 64 you didn't have villains, so it was like a Captain Falcon and like a black palette swap or something.
The most evil.
Yeah, and his name was like very like creative. His name was Dark Falcon. Yeah.
It's such an man.
look,
you know what I would?
was in
It would
high
be so much
school.
fun to make one of those like really bad adaptations of machinima, like with the knowledge we have now.
Actually, that would be super fun.
Oh man, dude, we should collab on one
We
in
need
Smash
to do
Ultimate.
that. Especially, yeah.
Absolutely, guys. Anyone that's watching this stream, you heard it here first. Collab between myself and
It's
dRage.
confirmed, yeah. So yeah, that's like Dragon Ball has always been like a really big influence. In terms of,
I mean, it's hard not to be influenced by Dragon Ball because Dragon Ball touched
Yeah.
on so many things.
and for a lot of people, it's been like a big part of like their childhood or young teenage life.
Me.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
See?
I'm raising my head right now. You can't see it, but
Yeah.
it's me.
Yeah, and in terms of people, it's like there's like no one specific person. It's been like always people who, especially like back in the day, people who like did new stuff was like the Brawl engine. And I saw something on another person's video, like I don't know, Tigra, Mofat. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I could do something like that. Or when people started really using animation hacks, I was like, damn, like I don't know, Ravelneck, I think was his name. He did Metroid Legends, I think it was. He had some really cool animation hacks. I was like, damn, that's cool. I want to do that.
Yeah, that's normally how it is, right? Like you see something and
Yeah.
you're like, wow, that's made by someone like just like me. Because like when it comes to YouTube, it's like they're not like professional people making it. I
Exactly,
mean, nowadays
yeah.
kind of some of them are, but like
Yeah.
back then it was like you see people and they're like, oh hey, they're about like my age. Like
Yeah.
if they can do that, I can do this.
And nowadays it's a lot about animation and writing what inspires me. For example, every time like Smash or Adam Mikey Merck puts out a new video, I'm like, damn, I need to step up my animation game.
Oh my god, he's just it's so
It's
good.
like, it keeps getting better. I'm like, I like feel I've improved on my animations, and then one of them puts out a new. Okay, yeah. Guess I'll have to do better now.
I mean, like you should not sell yourself short because you're like
Of course, but I'm very, very critical of myself.
no, honestly, I think that's how it is.
Yeah.
Like for people that critique your work, no one will be more harsh
Of
than
course,
you
yeah,
are.
and that's
Because you spent the time to make it, you see every
Yeah.
little detail that's incorrect or wrong.
But at the same time, I'm also like the biggest fan of my own work. I can't tell you how many times I've rewatched the climax of episode 2, Dragon Brawl Z, where Lucario and Captain Falcon defeat Black Shadow. I'm so fanboying over that scene because it took so long and it turned out better than I wanted to.
Oh, that's always the goal,
Yeah.
right? When you have a vision in mind, and then
And honestly,
It
creating
comes out
episodes
better.
takes so much longer because I keep rewatching parts that look really cool. And like, damn, this looks good. Let's watch that again. Let's watch that again.
you're just sitting there like and
Yeah.
replay and replay and replay. Oh man, it's just gonna get better each time I do this.
Or when one of your voice actors like kills the delivery on a line,
Oh
and
yeah,
it works
no,
so
good.
perfect with your choreography. For example, like pretty much all the Ganondorf lines in episode 3 that I have so far, it's like Freddy's killing it. Yeah, and in terms of writing, like what especially around the time I released the first episode when it still had like text boxes, the writing was very, very weak, especially like characters. For example, Lucario was not a character at all. He was just flat and boring. And then I started watching the before that I hadn't really like that was like around the time that I came back because I was on a hiatus for a while and I hadn't really caught up on Machinima. And then around that time I started catching up, especially all of the Smash 4 stuff, which I hadn't watched before. So I watched like Roy's Our Boy and Smash games, and I saw the character writing and the character interaction. I was like, wow, I need to like improve my characters. So like you and like especially you and like Brian were really big inspiration for the character writing in my
I'm sorry, did you
series.
just call him Black Brian? Did I hear that right?
What?
I swear I just heard you call him Black
No,
Brian.
did I? I said you and Brian.
Oh, okay.
Why would I call him Black Brian?
I don't know. Maybe my mic cut off for a second, but like that's literally what I heard. I was like, wait, what? That doesn't work.
That's not. I don't know. Maybe if he becomes evil someday, we can call him Dark Brian.
Okay. Anyway, back on topic.
Yeah.
I won't.
Oh, yeah, just in general, like every time, especially people who do similar stuff that I do, I'm like always inspired by people who keep pushing, especially like the Brawl engine. Like especially like what Adam did in his latest Chronicles of Brawl episode is insane.
Oh, it's so good.
Like the animation, I'm pretty sure he's not using like the same technique I do, so I have no idea how he lines up the characters so perfectly if he uses character animation. That must take so much work.
Yeah. I'd imagine so. I mean, that's why he uploads only a
Yeah.
few times a year.
Yeah, other than that, but like definitely my biggest inspirations. And sometimes if I like see something cool in like a movie or a show and I'm like, yeah, maybe I can animate that similar and do that, but it's a lot of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, which makes sense.
But yeah, like Hyborg says, writing characters, and this is a lot of work if you want to do it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I feel like actually like writing is a skill that's kind of like overlooked in some aspects.
It's very overlooked in machinima. People don't talk a lot about writing. It's always like about the visual stuff and like the cinematography, if you want to call it that. What people talk about, or the voice acting. Voice acting and the cinematography is what people really talk about. No one really ever talks about writing.
Yeah, well, because it's like the writing is kind of like the foundation, and then like how people like say it for the voice acting part, how it's like made on the screen with like special effects and all that. Like it's the stuff that kind of overshadows it, but like without the writing, everything else around it is still kind of like.
And writing is more
like,
than just lines.
Yeah,
it's a lot more.
You can have something that looks really cool, but if it's like broken English and sounds awful, and like sentences aren't even sentences,
or even just character.
Your mic kind of cut out for a second. What did you say?
Talk is written well. If the characters are not interesting, then it's not really engaging. I feel.
Yeah. So, tip for all future machinimators out there: don't overlook writing. It's important.
Don't underestimate
Take English class or whatever writing course you need.
I have to say, like my studies in literary studies have actually helped a lot in writing.
Oh, absolutely. I feel the same way.
I feel like I'm still not very good at it compared to like, especially you, because your writing is insane. But
wait, insane in a good way or insane in a bad way?
I don't know, man. I wouldn't say in a bad way, but if you want to call it that.
Wow, such backhanded insults. Jeez. Next one. You actually have mentioned this a couple times now, but you did take a pretty long hiatus, but you did make stuff pretty consistently before and after your hiatus. So, what is it about the like making Brawl Machinima or just making Machinima in general that keeps you coming back?
It's pretty much my creative outlet. I originally wanted to like study filmmaking, but it's very expensive to do so in Germany because you have to like go to a private university, and that's very expensive. So
just out of curiosity, is like stuff like film, is that not offered in like your high schools and stuff?
No, not at all.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's like not really a thing for some reason. I don't get why it should. It's like the only stuff you can do is like very let's say technical aspect of it. You can do an apprenticeship in like the video production aspect of it, but like the actual film making stuff, no. There's only like private schools for it, and they charge you very high prices per month.
Oof, that's brutal. Yeah, I know. I started doing like film stuff in school. I was able to take a course starting in middle school and then all the way through high school. I did it as well.
Oh, that's amazing. Kind of jealous.
Don't. My projects were always terrible because film was one of those classes where people took it to try and get an easy A, not because they were necessarily interested in it. So like you'd have the people that wanted to work, but the groups were normally random.
Yeah, so you always end up with the people who are just there for like, hey, you do the work and I get the grade.
Well, yeah. No, that was actually me a lot. I got stuck doing a lot of the editing.
Yeah.
Which normally I like, but the film room, all the computers are Macs, which I have no experience in whatsoever.
Me neither. It's like, what is this? Where's my Windows button? Why do my shortcuts not work?
Oh my god, that was the worst. I was trying to like relearn everything.
Yeah.
But it also sucked because when like if I learned something, like because we did do a few classes like on certain edits.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I like learned in that class wasn't transferable back to what I used at home. So it was like a double-edged sword of sucking.
Yeah. Like I know, for example, that Final Cut Pro is really good. Like I hear a lot of people who use it say very positive things about it, but using a Mac when you've used like a Windows PC all your life is like riding a bike backwards. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, I think riding a bike backwards would be more entertaining to people watching.
Yeah, probably.
Me trying to work on it, like people trying to work on a Mac after, that's not fun to watch. That's just painful.
Yeah.
All right, but it's just mostly creative outlet for you. While you continue to. It's
actually hard to explain. I've always wanted to make videos using video games. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing it like since the Super Nintendo with Mario Paint, because I've had like some weird setup where my Super Nintendo was hooked up to my VCR. I honestly don't understand how that worked, but my dad kind of set it up, and so I just recorded a whole bunch of stuff on VHS, and then the first game engine I used was Diddy Kong Racing for some reason, and like my friends and I came up with stories. And then Melee. Maybe someday I'll upload the what I have of that one Melee Machinima I made called Super Smash Bros. GT, which is terrible, but yeah, I would probably have to
keeps with the theme of GT, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was GT because they were like traveling around the galaxy, and back then I thought GT in Dragon Ball would stand for Galaxy Touring, because I was like in the early days of the internet where stupid rumors like that would spread.
Yeah. Nowadays, everyone knows it stands for Goku time.
Exactly. So, the title is pretty misleading because there's no Goku in Super Smash Bros. GT.
Yeah.
It's just like a randomly assorted group of characters. I think it's like Fox, Link, who got turned into Young Link by Ganondorf for some reason. I don't know. I think it's because I was watching Detective Conan at the time, and I was like, yeah, look, he gets turned into a child. That's pretty cool. Let's do that.
Yeah, I mean,
And actually, he gets turned into a child by being punched by Ganondorf's Warlock punch.
What? That's awesome.
And actually, the reason for it, there's actually no good reason. There's like a dialogue between like the Dark Falcon character I mentioned. He's like, because in earlier Machinima we made, he was beaten by Link. So Dark Falcon goes to Ganondorf and he's like, oh, we can't beat Link, he's too strong. And Ganondorf is like, oh, was he always that strong? And then he goes to like Hyrule Temple, punches Link in the dick and becomes a child. And then Ganondorf disappears again. It's like,
well, I mean, technically, if you punch someone in the dick hard enough, I guess they would become a child.
I don't know. It's like a very stupid story. And then for some reason, Link can like fly an R-wing, and it's like, I don't know.
Wait, speaking of that, didn't Link get punched into a Lucario in Lone's Machinima?
You cut off there. What did you say?
Oh, I said didn't Link get punched into being
a Lucario? He stole my idea.
Right?
I should sue him. Damn.
You should get royalties.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's how I started, and it's like, I don't know, it's like I always kind of wanted to do it, and I'm not entirely sure why. I'm not sure what drew me to it. And then when I discovered YouTube, I like figured, oh, maybe I'll try uploading something, and because like most of the friends I used to do like these videos with weren't like, I hadn't really much contact with them anymore because it's like everyone's in different high schools and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I discovered YouTube, and then there were people like giving feedback and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I guess I'll keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept making stuff, I think around until, actually don't remember. I think I like stopped making Soul Brawl in like 2010. The second episode was in 2009, and then I promised that I would make the next 2 episodes in 2010, and I never did, because I'm apparently a liar. I even put out a trailer and saying like, yeah, 2 episodes, look, all these new characters, and there wasn't even footage from the episode. I just like recorded some stuff. But yeah, I always like making machinima, like, especially like the writing. Even though I have a love-hate relationship with writing for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same like with, it doesn't matter if it's like creative or academic. Like I'm pretty good at writing like academic papers, but I hate doing the writing.
Okay.
Like I like doing the research and thinking about it, but actually sitting down to write, I don't like that. And it's the same for like script writing for machinima. I really like the whole like conceptualizing stuff, like thinking about it, planning it. But when you have to sit down to actually write it, it's like, oh, such a slog. And I don't even remember why I stopped making machinima back in the day. I don't know. I think it was like because of the community had become so divided, and everyone was like in different. And I wasn't really part of any group, so I was kind of left out and was like, it's kind of like getting boring. Mm-hmm. And then I came back because like for some reason like my original Dragon Brawl Z videos still got so much views. I was like, maybe I should actually just finish this. So I sat down and learned like After Effects, because I've always wanted to do that, but I've been too lazy to do it. Because if you come from Vegas, Sony Vegas, then using any Adobe video editing program is weird. I feel like Sony Vegas is super user friendly, and then you go to like Adobe Premiere Pro, it's like, what's this? Why does this work so differently?
Yeah.
And then I posted like I think I posted like the first thing I posted after like 3 or 4 years was like the comparison video. and this got a bunch of response. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess people still care. And then I posted some more clips and stuff, and then Smash was like, yeah, I'm recruiting you to the Retro Pixels. And I'm like, what? What's going on? Who are the Retro Pixels? Because I had been gone for like 4 years. I didn't know there were like new machine. And I think mainly because I'm so much more involved in the community, I have actually not stopped making content, because it's like a lot more fun now, because you get feedback on stuff, you interact with people, you do collabs, you like exchange ideas and mods and stuff. So there's like always, it's like, I don't know how to explain. It's like an ongoing process. There's always something going on in the community. What was the original question? I think I've gotten off track somewhere.
It was what makes you keep coming back to Machinima?
Oh yeah. Nowadays it's definitely the community. It's probably the biggest part. Okay. And it's a lot is the community. It's because I would say it's because I want to do like improve what I do and get better and like make even more impressive stuff. But that's also fueled again by the community, because there's like other people improving their own stuff, and then I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll copy that and steal their ideas. And it's also like there's even though back in the day I had more viewers, now it's like it's more personal, because I actually know the people that are watching my videos, and I interact with them sometimes on a daily basis. So it's a lot more direct, a lot more personal, and in that way more rewarding. Because I'd rather have like a few hundred views, or even less than 100 views, if like all those people give me direct feedback, than having like 300,000 views with people like saying, oh yeah, this is nice, or why does Link talk? Seriously, you don't know how many times I've gotten that comment on the Soul Brawl videos, like, oh, Link shouldn't talk, why is Link talking?
Or it's like the common thing to put in the title of your Brawl video. What game is this?
Yeah.
I don't think... Okay, we shouldn't get into rant mode, though.
Yeah.
That could be its own episode of the podcast. Let's rant about Machinima.
Yeah, we would need more time for that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And next question.
And you could then call it Let's Rant Machinima.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
All right. We might have already briefly touched upon this, or you might have in one of your answers.
Yeah, because
what is your favorite part? What is your favorite part of the Machinima process?
Favorite part? It's definitely the editing process. It's at the same time it's something I hate, but it's also something I love, because sometimes it's very tedious. But at the same time, when you finally see everything coming together, the voice acting, the cinematography, the editing, the sound effects, the music, and you see the finished product, and you're like, damn, I made this. And this is like how I imagined it, or even better. Especially like since I'm using like a lot of visual effects now.
Yeah.
There's like so much stuff that I just think up in my head and like, that's never gonna work. But I'll put it in here anyway. Let's see if it works. And then it works, and you're like, damn, this is crazy. Like I knew I wanted to do like a like the Thanos finger snap erase people effect, but I was like, yeah, that's not gonna work, is it? And then I did it, and I'm like, yeah, this works. This is pretty cool. So it's definitely like the editing process and seeing things come together.
Okay.
A second most favorite part would probably be the conceptualizing, just thinking about stuff. Like before you actually write it down, just sometimes when I can't sleep at night, I'm lying awake and thinking about, oh, how do I do this scene? And does this create a plot hole? What should this character do? And this isn't good, and stuff like that. So that part I also really like.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's sometimes hard to turn off. Sometimes you can't sleep because of that, so that's unfortunate.
Oh my god, yes. I hate it. I hate it, but I love it too.
It's like, I need to sleep, but I have this... Oh, I need to think about this cool idea I have.
Alright, so your favorite editing, second favorite part...
Yeah, the conceptualizing.
Conceptualizing ideas. Alright, that's... Yeah, no, I think I agree with, like, most of that, honestly. Just because the, like, making an idea is just, like, it's really fun.
Yeah. I think these parts really, like, work together in a way, because the one is the first part and one is the last part. So the first part is, like, you think about it and think about how it could work. And then after all the work, you see it and it comes together, and it's like, this is what I thought about, and this is what I made of it. I think that's just the beauty of being creative and doing creative stuff.
No, absolutely. It's like you think of something, and then like a few months later, it's like, bam!
Yeah.
This is it. This is the thing that I thought of.
Or a few years later, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, optimistic.
Yeah, being optimistic. That's true. I've always been way too optimistic with when my videos are gonna come out. Like, people are still waiting for Soul Brawl episode 3, right? Even though I've said multiple times that it's cancelled, and people are still waiting.
Well, I mean, you could just surprise people and upload it.
No.
Oh.
Soul Brawl was a train wreck. It's not coming back. Like, the first 2 episodes weren't bad in terms of writing, but it got really cheesy after that. It's basically a Bleach ripoff after episode 2. Because I was really into Bleach by the time I wrote that series. And that's another reason why it's not coming back. I don't really like Bleach anymore.
I mean, that makes sense. Like, we get older, interests change, that sort of thing. Like, you shouldn't be expected to, like, withhold a series that you made, like, years ago.
Yeah, especially if it's so early on. It was just 2 episodes. And I think people just remember it fondly because it was kind of, I don't want to call it revolutionary, that kind of sounds arrogant, but it did a lot of stuff that hadn't been done before to that extent, at least the first episode. And while I think it definitely didn't age well, especially like all the chroma keying, back then it was new. I think that's why people have nostalgia for it.
Makes sense. And nowadays, like with chroma keying, that's like become like a big staple.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone does it. It's like, it's nothing special anymore. So that was a one selling point of Soul Brawl, because the writing was bad, character interactions were bad. Even the cinematography was not good, because being really restricted what kind of camera angles I could do.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Where was I going with
I
this?
think that question's...
I keep getting off track, I'm sorry.
It's fine. Hey, I've had Nick on this show. You don't know what off track is.
True. But again, I like keep talking and then I forgot what the question was.
Well, we did cover the question. Okay, we're still on the what was your favorite part.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't asked a new one, but I am about to.
Okay, yeah. Ask the next one before I go even more off track.
All right. What was your reason behind, or what inspired you to start making the stage packs for other people to use, and just taking all the things that you like put time into, and then just giving it to everyone that kind of just asked for it?
Oh yeah. That has to do with like basically my big hiatus. The reason why I dropped off is because it became like so super competitive with no one sharing work except like within their groups or within like their best friends. And it's like you always had to like create everything from scratch, even though it already existed, especially in terms of animations. And when I started making stages, because we have to like go back a little, because before, what was it before? I don't know. I got into like brawl modding really early, like back when you still had to when there was no USB loading and there was no putting it on an SD card, you actually had to like put it in the ISO and then had to burn that on a DVD and play it on a modded, like hard modded Wii. That's when, and there was no brawl box or anything, so they were like executable programs that weren't very good. So I did some very crappy texture hacks because I'm not a very artistic person. Like I can't draw for shit, and I can't do recolors, but if I have to do something original, it's not gonna work. So I made like this, like one of my most downloaded hacks, but it looks so bad. It's like an Ichigo hack, and it's basically just solid color. This looks terrible. But then I got into stage making, especially when it was discovered that some other Wii games had the same model format as Brawl. And then even before model importing was actually a thing, you could from like Mario, Monster Hunter. So that's when I really like kind of found my niche in Brawl modding, even though I only made a single stage at that point. And then the whole hiatus happened. So when I came back, I realized that a lot of the stuff I wanted to do, I couldn't do because there weren't stages for it. Like, I remember I wanted originally to have the portal be like a modern portal, like not the Zelda one I have now. But I couldn't find anything on the vault for that, so I had to resort to the one I use now. But then I realized there's so much space on that model you could use, right? But the stage only had like a very limited part of it. I was like, this kind of sucks. So I went back and relearned how to like modify stages, and made like a bunch of different versions of that one single stage, so I could use it for like the fight scenes. And then after episode 1, I figured, I might as well my own kind of stages, like make actually new stuff, like from, and I'm still only mostly using stuff from like Wii games that use the same model format, because it's way easier to import than actually having to go through like a 3D modeling program, which I'm not very good at. But yeah, I've mainly started doing it because I wanted to I didn't want it to be so limited by the like the base game stage roster. It's not that much of a problem in Ultimate because there's like 100 stages, but Brawl is super limited.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And the stages you can find online, they're made for gameplay, right? They aren't made for filming. There's like a lot of cool areas that you can't access, or they cut off before you can get there. And so I think, I'll just make my own. And the stage packs are started because people were actually asking me for these stages, and I'm like, I guess you can have them. I don't mind. I'm gonna share my stuff because that's the reason why I originally quit, because people weren't sharing this. So I figured I'm not gonna be like that, and maybe this can like create a positive trend in the community where people are more open to like sharing their stuff with others, even if they're not in their machinima group. And in general,
well, I think you absolutely have had like a positive influence on people.
Well, that's good to hear. And like, I have a beef with like Stage Builder. I think it's like very overused, and I make that point very often. It's like, it was fine in the beginning, and it's fine if you use it for stuff like, I don't know, interiors or like houses. But if your entire series takes place on like this one extended series of blocks, which there are some machinima that do that. It's like, no, looks boring. And especially like the Brawl stage builder looks like the only like outdoor part is like blocks, like literal stones, and people use it for like, oh, I'm running across a field, and that's like, no, that's not a field of stones. it's like very hard to suspend disbelief with stage builder for me. So that's another reason why I started the stage pack. The people who do Brawl actually have fields and forests and mountains and don't have to use stage builder.
Where you have a mountain of like triangles.
Yeah, mountains of triangles and fields of chiseled blocks of stone and forests made up of that one mushroom item you can use. No.
Oh, that's amazing.
See,
that's incredible.
See, that's why I'm glad Stage Builder has got an Ultimate, so I don't have to see Stage Builder in Machinima anymore.
Yeah, there's so many people that were complaining about Stage Builder being out, but it's like, I didn't care. I honestly don't care.
It's like, you don't need it. You have so much cool stuff. Like, you saw the short Smash made, right? With the train. You now have a train for travel sequences. How cool is that?
Yeah, you got a train, and like, from what I can tell, that train stage isn't one that's going to like change what it is every 2 seconds.
You cut off. What did you say about the train?
Oh, I was just saying that, like, unlike a lot of moving stages, like, the train looks like it's just kind of like, it looks like it's always in motion, but, like, your level is the same.
Yeah, exactly.
That, and you have the ability just to turn off stage hazards.
Yeah, that's so good. Also, like, there's a bunch of, like, cityscape stages now in the game, I noticed. So
yeah,
that's really good. And also, the stages in Ultimate look beautiful. Especially, like, the redesigned melee stages look insane.
Oh my god, Great Bay.
Great Bay, Foresight.
Amazing.
Like, I saw Foresight for the first time, like, yesterday, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god, yeah, no, dude, Foresight looks amazing. I actually think it's hilarious, though, like, all the peril of those melee stages and, like, the stages before they implemented, like, wall jumping and swimming, there's, like, now, like, no threat of dying on them.
Yeah.
Because, like, you get knocked in the water in Great Bay, and it's like, oh, I can swim, we're fine.
Yeah. They aren't, like death traps anymore. Like, in Melee, if you got hit, like, and got knocked into, like, the underside of the top platform, you're dead. You're not coming back.
Oh my, yeah, no, you were absolutely. There was no coming back from that.
Unless you tag that, you're fucking dead.
I mean, that was a good way to learn how to tag.
Yeah. I don't know, those stages are like beautiful, man. Especially like also like combo faults. It's like, oh. Especially if you play like,
okay, we're just gonna start gushing on this, so we gotta move on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but yeah, that's the main reason why I like started the stage pack, because people were like saw this kind of stuff in like Dragon Brawl Z and were asking me, oh, do you have other stages? I'm like, no, but I can make them. It's not very difficult. So the first one I just kind of like went into and took a whole bunch of stages from Tales of Symphonia because those convert, and like just put out a bunch of them and added a bunch of the Monster Hunter stages that I for like future Dragon Ball Z episodes. And then the second one, because a lot of people asked me to do Subspace Emissary, and I personally didn't really think about doing that, but since a lot of people wanted to have it, I mean, it makes sense. It's like it has like the same aesthetic as the original Brawl stages.
Yeah.
It's just that if you use the existing Subspace Emissary stages that are on the Brawl World, they suck for filming. I'm not sure if you ever tried using one of these, but they basically all have like flat 2D backgrounds. So if you turn the camera just a little bit, you actually see that it's like just flat PNG images. And also like, because they never expected the camera to be able to be turned in Subspace Emissary, there's like nothing on the left or right side of the stage. It's just a black void. But thankfully I like had one stage I imported from like what was the game called? Spectrope's Origins, some game that no one has ever played or heard, but for some reason uses the same model format as Brawl and has some like really pretty fields and mountains. So I have like a skybox from that one stage that I put onto every stage that I import, basically, because it's like it's a pretty good looking like sky. It's 360 degrees, and there's like a mountain range you can put onto it that like blocks off the rest of the stage, so it doesn't look like it just goes into a. Because if you just put the skybox on there, you basically exchange a black void for a blue void. Yeah, and then I just made a bunch of subspace emissary stages because people were like asking for it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for like the next one. Like the third has a bunch of interior stuff because that one's really lacking, especially in Brawl. You have some options for it in like I think Smash 4 and especially in Ultimate, but Brawl has nothing. You have like Luigi's Mansion and that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm importing a bunch of stuff from like some Detective Conan game. And Monster Hunter is also something. Not sure what I'm going to do for the fourth one. Maybe caves. There's not a lot of caves.
No, there's not.
Yeah, but I'm mainly going off what people want or what's like lacking. So yeah, my main for these stage packs is increase stage variety in Brawl and give people more options and inspire people to be more open to sharing their stuff with others.
I'd say that's a pretty good goal.
Thank you.
All right, I think this next one. Oh nope, sorry, I almost skipped a question. Ooh, that would have sucked.
Ooh.
All right, so in terms of Machinima, a lot of people take Captain Falcon and make him like more of a side character. You, however, took Captain Falcon and put him almost like front and center as your main character. I think he might actually be the main character of your series.
Yeah, I'm kind of approaching it kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxies thing, where you have like a sort of main character, but the other characters are really important to the point where you could call it an ensemble piece. So, like,
but what was your choice as to, or why the decision to make Captain Falcon? Yeah, and well, more so, why'd you take Captain Falcon, who's very known for being a side character, and put him as in a main role?
I like to like subvert tropes of Machinima. For example, especially Captain Falcon, he's not only a side character, he's like, Tiger once described him as like the village idiot kind of character. And that's what he's been mostly used as, especially in Brawl. He's like the kind of guy who's like, oh, Falcon, and he always talks in third person, and he's like really cocky, but he's also like really dumb. So I wanted to do the opposite of that. And also, basically, when I decided on the main characters, I basically picked characters that I felt would work well if you like sort of in like a Dragon Ball setting, right? Because Captain Falcon is fast, he's strong, he's like flashy moves. Same for Sonic, Mewtwo, and Lucario. And also, the four main characters are all characters that were in the original Dragon Brawl Z stuff. That's now called Proto. Like the ones that I made in, I don't know, 2010 or something. And I don't know why I picked Captain Falcon and... Oh, no, I remember. Because there was this cool Captain Falcon Sonic texture that I used. I thought that just looked really cool. That's why I used it, because the original Dragon Brawl Z was just a test. It was literally just seeing if I could make like Dragon Ball type battles work in Brawl. So I picked this random like Lucario texture where he looks like Goku, and this Sonic textures where he looked like Captain Falcon. And then when I made more parts of it and started getting more serious about it, I was like, shit, I have to explain why he looks like Captain Falcon. And I was like, yeah.
I will say that I actually really did like watching those videos.
Yeah, thanks. A lot of people apparently did. I think the second part is my most viewed video ever. And then I figured, okay, I have to explain why he looks like Captain Falcon. And then I realized it's Dragon Ball. It's just fusion. So when I made the third part after my hiatus, I figured, yeah, let's have them defuse because that's always fun when they're about to kill the villain. And then you no longer had just Sonic, then you had Captain Falcon. So when I decided to make it a series, I figured I'd just pick the same characters I original Dragon Ball Z videos because those work. I felt like those characters work really well in that kind of setting.
I actually have a fun piece of trivia for you.
Hit me with a fun
just before. Just before I was asked to join the Retro Pixels, I had actually I had seen that you had uploaded the final part because I watched the original two, and then I was like, I wonder if he's ever going to make a third one. And then you did, and I was like, oh, sweet. And then Isaiah invited me to join the thing, and I didn't know you were in the group at that point, so I was looking through the people that were in there, and I saw your name, and I was like, oh God, he's here.
Oh, you joined after me?
I'm in a group with this. Huh?
I didn't even know you joined after me. I always you were in there before me.
I'm pretty sure you were.
Huh. It might be. I don't really remember.
I was I was the latest member before like Jacer and Blue Man.
Yeah. I have to admit, like in the beginning, I was kind of skeptical because I was like because of my experience in the past, I was kind of machinima group. So in the beginning, I didn't really interact much, but I figured, yeah, I might as well join. Let's see how this turns out. Yeah, Smash was pestering me. He was like, "Hey, you want to join?" I'm like, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. And then he kept asking me. I'm like, yeah.
I gotta check my schedule.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if I want to stick around. Maybe I'll just go on a hiatus again. And I don't really post very often. I only make like one episode per year, so I don't know if I'm going to be useful to you. It was like, nah, you should join. I don't know. And then at some point I was like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll join. But like I said, I was still very skeptical. I was like, I don't know if these people are gonna be cool. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Apparently Isaiah has the order now.
Okay. Wow. See, I didn't even know that Terra joined after me. Damn. See, because like I said, I wasn't really paying attention to the group. Also, the problem was I'm in Europe, so especially like it's a lot better with Discord now with like different channels. But in the Skype group, I would always miss all the discussion. So especially early on, I wasn't like really. Thanks, Smash.
Everyone's just man. You're like the most popular guest I've had on this show.
Damn, this is very. Wow. Thanks a lot, guys.
I mean, I would say that it's well earned.
But yeah, I didn't get as much involved as I am now. It was only after we switched to Discord because it's so much easier to keep track of stuff with Discord because it's split up into different channels.
Mm-hmm.
Because back then, like if people were memeing, it would like push everything so far up that I wouldn't even see like the important discussions that were going on.
Yeah. Okay, Smash. We don't need to know that. We don't need to know what you put on your body.
Yeah, I'm scared to ask where. But I figure we have to know now. You can't drop something like that and don't expect me to ask. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know you were a fan of me back then, but apparently a lot of people were. It's kind of like weird to think that people were fan of my work before they met me. It's still kind of like unreal to me. Especially when people are like, I watched your stuff.
I know, like, a lot of people kind of think that I was relatively new to the machinima community, but I was actually kind of not really involved, but I knew and I was around back around the time that you started, and you and Smash were there. I was there. I just didn't really, because I was younger, right?
Yeah, of course we all were.
No, but like you and Smash are both older than me now.
Yeah, Tiger and me
So,
are
like,
ancient compared to you guys, I think. So, I think we're the oldest people in the community.
Probably.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. Like, if you, like maybe a month ago, I went through like the comments of my earliest videos, and it's super funny to see like people I know now comment on it. Like, I saw a comment from like Jacer and one from Smash. And I was like, damn, you really watched my stuff back then.
Yeah, most of my old comments that I would have posted are now gone because my original channel's gone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, no, I absolutely watched your stuff back in the day. I'm pretty sure I found your channel because of Soul Brawl. I remember watching that, and then
yeah, somehow a lot of people like found my channel through Soul Brawl. It's weird how YouTube worked back then.
Yeah.
It's like nowadays people rarely find your stuff, but back then people would always like find your videos. Like, oh, like 100 new people suddenly show up. And like, oh yeah, that's, well, I guess. Dragon Brawl Ultimates, I don't know.
Hey, Smash, you kind of missed the boat on this one, but like dRage and I already have a series and series getting planned, so just like shush.
It's like gonna be totally edgy.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. But like but you can't know. It's a secret.
Yeah, it's a secret. Like we talked about it on stream, but it's very secret.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like all the people who
Smash is not allowed to go back and watch at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah, all the people who watched it are not going to tell anyone, right? It's like
yeah, super secret Machinima series. Okay, sad ass
what? I think we've gotten off track. What was the question?
No. Okay. No, we did answer the question. So on to the next one.
Can you repeat the question? There was something else I wanted to say, but I forgot what it was. Maybe I remember if I hear the question.
Oh, it was about making Captain Falcon your main character.
Oh, right. Yeah. There was something else I wanted to say about that. Yeah, basically the reason why I made him the main character is because he was in the other Dragon Ball. But also because just the personality I came up with for him, like I think really works well for like to play off of Sonic, who's like this super hyper and kind of like a dick. And Captain Falcon's like he's like stoic and he's kind of heroic. Where Sonic just is like kind of in it for the fun of it. And also like Sonic has all these like I don't know, he's like kind of like a pop culture character. He's all these reference and memes. And Falcon doesn't get any of that. So like that one time he was like, man, sick ninja dude, and Captain Falcon's like, what? She was well. How was she sick? So I feel like that works really well.
Oh yeah.
Or like the one Back to the Future reference. Or when Sonic was like, yeah man, that's heavy, and Captain Falcon was like, wait, has nothing to do with it. I feel like like that's another reason why I picked him, because he works so well and like to play, like he and Sonic play really well off each other in terms of character interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way I've written him, he's like basically Sonic's opposite. But yeah, we can move on to the next question. That's the other thing I wanted to say.
All right. I think the next question is going to be relatively simple because I'm pretty sure we already talked about this. But I know you're a big proponent of using specifically like Project M and Brawl for your stuff. So if you couldn't use, like if it was just gone for you specifically, you could not use Project M or Brawl anymore, what would be your choice engine for Machinima usage?
If you had asked me this like a week ago, I would say I would quit or go back to Melee, even though Melee is super limited. But now I would just pick Ultimate. It's so good.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I had this question written down. I'm like, he's probably just going to say Ultimate.
Yeah.
But I figured I'd leave it in there just in case.
It's like I have this very weird hate relationship with Smash. I'm actually not sure why I hate it so much, but I really hate it. It's like I don't necessarily hate Smash 4 Machinima, but I think it also has to do with like the modding community. Modding sucks ass for Smash 4. Like there's people selling their mods.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, Lone posted
and that makes me so angry. Back in the Brawl modding days, we would actually crack down on people who tried to make money off of their mods because it would endanger our entire community. And it's also just like, you can't sell this. This isn't your property.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't get that.
And apparently there's like people who make mods, show them off, and they never release them. Like they're finished, but they're like, no, they're just for me. And I'm like, then don't show them off.
Yeah, that happened a lot too. Yeah,
And
that was a problem.
Yeah.
Or that is a problem. That, I think, one of the worst parts about the Smash 4 modding is that you had the company that was just like, and we're just gonna patch this.
Yeah, that's also like that's another reason why I never got into like the basic camera and stuff it gives you is so limited.
Yeah.
And like after like I already experienced what like a modded camera was like in Brawl, I didn't want to switch, especially because Dragon Brawl Z takes so much time to make that I wasn't super motivated to make shorts, and I couldn't do Dragon Brawl Z in Smash 4. It's not even because of the game, it's just because the modding for Brawl is so much easier to do on your own. You don't need someone to make mods for you if you like actually know a little bit about it. Like almost anyone can make animation edits. And technically even stage edits are super simple if you know what you're doing. That's why I keep posting my tutorial to people so they can make it themselves. And that's the reason.
Well, I mean, you also were like the main reason why I was able to get into doing Brawl stuff.
Oh yeah, right. I'm like not only am I like
because you helped teach my dumbass how to.
I'm not only the
M.
mod dealer. I'm also like giving people their fix. It's like yeah, that's how you make. That's how you can use Brawl. That's how you can use mod. Gee, don't you want to make Brawl Machinima? Yay!
Like whispering to people.
Yeah.
Just, like make Brawl. Actually,
Yeah,
you've done that. You've gone into the Discord chat. And then be like, yeah, how do I do this and this? You're just like, well, you could just switch to Brawl.
Have I done that?
You absolutely have. Don't
like,
play it off. Don't be innocent.
I feel like that would be something I would do, but it's kind of a dick move.
You absolutely have said that at least once that I can remember.
Well, it's always like when people talk about Smash 4 modding, I get angry and tell them how better Brawl modding is. But it's not like I hate Smash 4 Machinima, I just hate the game. It's also probably
I mean that's
probably because
that's
I play
fair.
because I play Melee and it's like
Actually, sweet segue, because I think this might be a lesser known fact about you, but what got you into competitive Smash is my next question.
Competitive Smash, yes. Like my friends and I were always kind of competitive. Like we were those competitive casuals who would play no items, only Final Destination, which is like probably where like the entire meme was Final Destination from, because that's what casual players think is the only viable serious stage. Even though in competitive Melee you see like Battlefield way more often than Final Destination. And I don't know, I didn't have internet until I was like nearing the end of high school, so I never really found out about like a local that my city and even my country had like a tournament scene, that there were even tournaments for Melee at all. And I got into like Brawl, started playing the game, and we didn't really super enjoy it even as casual. And somehow through Brawl I found out that there was a competitive scene, but figured, it's just Melee. I want to play Brawl even though it's not that good, but I don't want to go back to Melee. That's an old game. Why would I play that? So then I found out about Brawl modding and that they're making the game faster, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. Maybe I'll get into that. There wasn't a scene for that in my town, so I was like, And then Project M came out, so I started playing that. And then in 2013, I believe, I like posted in the forum for my city and was like, yeah, I play Project M. Is anyone else? And then like one person that's like a really good friend of posted, yeah, come play Melee. I was like, I guess. So I went to like my first local, and I think it was either 2013 or 2012. It was probably 2012. I probably messed that up when I said earlier 2013. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. Well, it was a year before like the like Smash was like Melee was at Evo again, and the documentary came out. So I went to that local and I was like, yeah, this is I guess this is fun, but oh no, I have university. I don't have time to focus on competitive Smash. And then Smash got like Melee got into Evo, and there was entry. Damn, this is pretty hype. I guess I'm missing out after all. And then I started going to tournaments again. Tournament at like an esports bar, and they had a single setup. And it was like the first Melee tournament they had, so they had they had some people from like the community who like told them, okay, this is how basically ran the bracket for them, but they only had one setup, and it was like in the middle of summer, so it was like very hot, and there was a bunch of people packed into that place, and it was horrible, but it was so much fun. Because you actually had like a ton of people, everyone was hype, everyone was cheering, playing like I was super bad back then. I'm still bad, but back then I was basically casual. So there was this other guy who's like also a good friend of mine now. His casual friends against him, and he was like Samus, and I was like beating him. I was just spamming F smash, and like my friend, who's not my friend, was like, why don't you beat him? You just have to hit him. He's like, he has a sword. What am I supposed to do? And all that kind of shenanigans was so much fun. And then I just kept coming back for it. Basically because of the community. Because it's so much different than playing online games. Because you have to interact with people, go to like a place, and there's a bunch of setups, and everyone's playing, everyone's cheering, everyone's hype, especially like in tournaments. And then there's friendly trash talk. But yeah, it's mostly because of what got me into it was really got me into it was like Evo and the documentary. Like I knew about it before, but I wasn't really like motivated to really get into it until things happened. And then I got to like my first couple tournaments and like got hooked basically.
Makes sense.
I mean, I've also gone on a few hiatuses with competitive Smash, but and
I mean, kind of everyone does that.
I'm not sure if I want to really like I don't really have the drive to get better anymore, but I still like going to tournaments every now and then because I have a lot of friends in like my local Melee scene. So it's just always fun to like go to like a weekly every now and then and have some beers, play some Melee.
Makes sense.
Just like, especially like in the last 2 or 3 years, there's a lot of like younger people came into the scene and they're like improved so quickly that they all left me behind. And like, damn, all these young kids now. How am I supposed to keep up with that? I don't have the fingers for that. My reactions are too slow. And also I'm too lazy to like grind. Yeah. That's mainly how I got into it and why I to it. It's the community. Like I went to which one was it? Air 5, I believe, was the number. Like a really big tournament in the UK, the biggest like European tournament there is, and it's basically like a Smash festival. There's like everyone like living. It's like on a campus, and everyone's like on the campus. So wherever you go, you meet like Melee players, and there's setups everywhere. There's like they find like the main bracket was in like a circus tent. So for like the top 8, everyone was in that tent in the crowd, and everyone was cheering and screaming. It was insane. Probably like my best Smash experience. Well, aside from the one time we traveled to like Chicago. I mean, you need to remember we're from Germany, right? And we traveled to Chicago to go to like Big House. It was like a group of like my friends. We like just stayed in Chicago for a few days, did some sightseeing, and then went to like the place where the tournament was held. Like our first time we went to the USA for like a Smash tournament. It was pretty hype.
That's pretty sweet, actually.
I guess the true competitive Smash are the friends to meme it up a little bit.
Would you say your mic kind of cut out?
Yeah. Oh no, I just meant like I just kind of like made a meme out of it. Like the true competitive Smash are the friends we made along the.
Oh, okay.
Because the community is really like what keeps you coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Oh, we're on to the second to last question. What is your favorite Machinima series of all time? If you had to pick just one.
Favorite Machinima series of all time. Oh, it's difficult. There's a lot of good ones. Actually, never like ranked them in my head. There's just like I really like Royce Our Boy. I really like Smash King, Smash Games. Uh, also really like Tide. Basically, and after seeing like the first part that Isaiah did for Junior, shaping up to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
But like probably my favorites because like of nostalgia is probably like some super old Melee Machinima. Like one of the ones Revenek did. I think he did one like Heroes, which probably doesn't hold up nowadays. But I remember that I really liked it. But yeah, I don't have like single favorite one.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I
I might be able to come up with one if I really try. I feel like that's also like
but in kind of like a spur of the moment thing, you're just like, no,
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I can't do it. There's just so many good ones, and there's like a lot of ones that I like. Smash Games for the writing. I really like Royce O'Boy for like the amazing like spontaneous comedy that's in there. I love Tide for like the crazy animation that Smash is doing. I like Smash King for the consistency. It just keeps going. It never stops. It's insane. I wish I was that consistent. Yeah, I basically like different machinimas for different things, and there's not one single one where I would say this is my absolute favorite.
Okay, no, that's fair. All right, so final question. We have arrived. So this one, I kind of took a break from it for an episode, but it's been a staple question for pretty much every episode of the podcast. But where do you think the Machinima community will be in the next 5 years?
It's actually a good thing we kind of delayed this podcast, because after seeing what you can do with like Ultimate and how accessible it is, it's like you don't even need a capture card anymore. You technically don't need an editing software. I mean, you kind of do. Well, otherwise you can't put in music, but technically you don't if you're fine with not using music. So I think how accessible it is and how insanely popular the Switch is and how insanely popular Ultimate is going to be. I don't know. I mean, YouTube isn't like really the kind of place anymore for these kind of videos, but if any Smash game is gonna like put Machinima back on the map, it's gonna be. So either nothing's gonna change, or it's gonna be insane. That's like
pretty good guess. I'm definitely hoping for the latter in that one.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like crazy because it's so easy to do now. And with all the characters and all the stages, you have so many options. There's so much potential.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe some people who like either watched Machinima now or watched it back then see how the replay mode is and like, yeah, maybe I can make one of those videos like the ones I saw back in the day. We just need to like really do a good job of integrating people into the community. Like trying to get people into the community when we like see new people putting out stuff.
Yeah, just really trying to help people grow and do stuff for themselves, sort of thing.
Did you say something?
Like, it's cool.
Like my Discord, I think, cut out.
Oh, weird. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear now. Yeah, like my Discord was like.
I was just saying that like it's kind of we just got to do a good job of bringing people new into the community. And, like when they make something, just to like support it and give them as much like help and feedback as we can.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's like what's kind of gonna hinge on whether they. I mean, for one, it's like whether people have interest in making it, and like Ultimate, if anything, it's gonna do it. It's Ultimate. And of course, like we said, what like the kind of work we do to like integrate people, make them feel welcome, makes them feel like part of a community.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could be like. I mean, I don't think it's ever going to go away. Probably not gonna happen, even if like Ultimate doesn't bring in gonna go away necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, and for example, like unless like my life drastically changes, I'm gonna keep making Dragon Brawl Z. Like you said, it's my creative outlet.
Yeah.
It's like fun to keep pushing it to new levels, to like keep pushing what you can do with the Brawl engine. And now I'm also like interested in doing ultimate stuff, so there's that. And I think
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people are like that. I think like the people we have, like the ones that are active, are not the kind of people who like quit and do top 10 videos.
Oh, I feel like that was directed at someone in particular.
Yes.
All right. Well, those are all my questions. So, as always, if you have anything you'd wish to fire back at me,
there's actually one thing that we talked about a while ago, but I feel like it would be really, really helpful for other people to hear, and it's your approach to writing characters, which really helped me improve my writing for characters.
For like kind of like what specifically, or just in general?
In general,
what
like
I do.
like how you develop character. Like how do you develop a character for series? What's your thought process going into like writing a character, their traits, how they're gonna interact with other characters?
I guess the best example I can kind of go to is kind of like the main cast of Smash games, excluding Alice, so like Rory, Ethan, and Justin. For the three of them, it was really fun and interesting for me to develop the characters because each one of them is kind of a different part of my personality. So their entire character is based on like part of me. Like to kind of give an example, like Ethan is like the total optimist, so he's like my optimistic personality, kind of just more developed. Justin is full ego and sarcasm.
Yeah, he is.
And then Rory is like the edgy guy. the silent type, like your stereotypical like lone wolf hero guy. Not lone wolf as in lone, but you know what I mean, like the stereotype character. But yeah, no, I just kind of like, it's kind of weird to try and like say how I do it, but it's just I spend a lot of time writing. So it's just I guess practice kind of I won't say practice makes perfect, but practice makes better.
Yeah, it does.
And then I do stuff like D&D on the side of making Machinima, so like I make characters for D&D, which also helps because again, that's just more practice and figuring out like character backstories, character like motivations for why they do what they do. And I guess kind of the best kind of overarching advice I can give for writing characters is just think about more than what you think you'll need. Because like obviously if a character is not like super important and like not a main focus, you won't have like the audience won't know everything about the characters, but as long as you know, then you can write the character to the best of your ability.
Yeah, that
makes
approach
sense.
like really helped me get a better idea of how to like write character interactions. Because when you know what a character is like and what the character's like kind of like been through, it's like a lot easier to imagine what a character would say and like to make it more natural. Because I feel like a lot of people have the habit of making characters say what they need to say to like advance the plot, but not necessarily what would feel natural for the character.
Well, it's like it's kind of like a weird sort of thing, but in some of like the not the action sequences in between the challenges in the Smash game series, I have like these little interactions between the characters where it's more like them talking about like their personal life and stuff, and while that doesn't advance the plot at all, it gives you more of a look into like their characters and their lives.
Yeah, those are some of my like favorite parts of Smash games, because it like feels so genuine and natural, the interactions between your characters.
Well, thanks. That's actually really nice to hear. But yeah, so overall, that's kind of...
You don't get that in like a lot of machinima. Just like sort of like cool down moments. Especially like you're not going to get that in my series. Not good at that. And I'm always like, nah, I need to... We need to get to the end. I don't want to cancel the series.
No, I don't. I don't either, and I refuse to at this point. I literally took a break from working on Smash games to do this podcast. I'm gonna go back to it after we're done. I have like literally, if I look to my left, my screen is still on here to record all the scenes.
You're gonna be one of the few people who have actually finished the series.
Yeah, you're not the first person that says that to me.
I actually can't think of a series that finished, unless like
Grand Brawl.
Oh yeah, technically, but that was only season 1, so it's technically not finished.
Well, but he never technically started a season 2, so it is the end.
Yeah, I mean there were like I think Red and Egg finished a few Melee Machinimas. I think like the Heroes of Light one I mentioned.
What was another one? Smash Tasm finished its first season.
Yeah, that's true.
I think in a way, even being able to finish a season counts for something.
Yeah. Technically, I finished the first season of my series. It was just 2 episodes, but I mean, it's not really I really don't work by seasons. I work by arcs because Dragon Ball. But yeah.
I mean, I kind of structured Smash games the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
where
true.
There's 3 arcs of Smash games. Each of my intros represents the next arc.
I feel like seasons work better for like comedy stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, anything else we want to say about writing? Should I question?
What did you say? Sorry, you kind of cut out a bit.
Anything else you want to say about writing, or should we move to this question?
I guess for kind of just last closing statements is just whenever you make a character, you just want to make sure that like you aren't writing them to just advance the plot. You want them to actually feel like a person in your world. And like the best way for you to be able to write a character is for you to like understand your character. So don't skimp on like planning things. Like take the time to plan everything, not just the action scenes. Like plan how your characters will act and interact with each other.
Yeah, that's very solid advice. Okay, then since we talked about canceled series and stuff, if you could bring back any cancelled or just dead, dormant machinima, which one would it be and why?
Anyone that I've seen?
Whatever you want. Doesn't have to be necessarily one.
There was one I watched a very long time ago. It arguably could have been the first machinima I ever watched. It was called Legend of Smash, I believe.
I can't remember that one.
It had it was like this really weird plot where like Mario, Samus, Kirby, and I think someone else were getting trained by Ike.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Wasn't like the Ike character a reference to some sort of like drill sergeant in the movie?
Yeah, he was. Okay, so yeah, you know what I'm. Yeah, it'd be that one.
Yeah. Oh damn, I forgot all about that one. That one was. I don't know if it would hold up if you would watch it today. I'm not sure if it's anymore.
Man, there's a part of me that wants to go back and watch it though.
Yeah. But yeah, that one, I remember that one. I also wished it would have gone on longer.
Yeah, so I'd pick that one to bring back.
Yeah. I thought about that question. I really don't know which one I would bring back. Because
well, that's why you asked the question and not answering it.
Because it's like a lot of stuff that I would want to bring back. I don't think would hold. I think it's mostly like melee stuff because that's like the first ones I saw on YouTube. So that's like the where the nostalgia is.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the brawl ones, I don't know. those would really hold up today. Also, so you've been asked this before, but now that you've actually played Ultimate, do you have any concrete plans on or any ideas what you want to do with the engine?
Anything concrete? No. However, I will definitely, I can say with 100% certainty that I will be using it for probably a series in the relatively near future. I say relatively because I do want to finish at least like one of the series I'm currently working on.
Of course, yeah, that's like priority.
Before I take a new one. But my goal is to have Smash games finished in 2019.
How many episodes did you say you have left?
I have this one, which should be out within the month. I have episode 12 and then 13.
Oh. So, like 2.5 episodes left to do, basically.
Yeah. So that, if I can actually dedicate enough time and work on it, it shouldn't take me like too long. And then with Revenge, which is the Brawl Machinima that I do, I have episode 3, 4, and then 5, and then that series is done as well.
Yeah, the series where I died because I was like, I can't voice my cat because I don't have a microphone, and then I realized I can use my phone, but then I was already dead.
Well, it was a cool scene.
It was cool, yeah, I liked it.
I'm still working on getting my brawl skills better because I don't think I'm quite there yet, but I do like working on that series a lot.
I mean, brawl is an ongoing process, like, because like the ceiling of what you can do is so high. It takes a while.
Yeah,
it's like everyone starts out somewhere. It's like if you look at my early brawl stuff, it's terrible. It's not good. Soul Brawl is not good. So,
I mean, if you look at my early brawl stuff, ugh.
I guess everyone has that. Was like their earlier stuff where people say, "But it was good," and it was not good.
Like if people go back to like the very beginning of my channel, it's like the first thing I uploaded was Brawl Machinima that I almost immediately stopped.
I need to watch that after this because I don't think I've
I don't think you do.
I don't think I've ever seen it. But yeah, if I ever upload my earliest like melee stuff, you're gonna be like, oh, what was this guy doing? It's just characters running around pointlessly, and there's like a fight scene where just people are like playing the game, and it lasts for like 10 minutes. And then there's like this cringy dialogue. The only problem is I would have to translate the dialogue because.
Oh my god! It was like Smash. Oh, it was like Smash Bros. Zero from White Blade.
Oh yeah.
Where his fight scenes, because it was like an in-game series, it was literally just him fighting a CPU.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like one of my pet peeves. People doing like CPU fight scenes.
Oh yeah, no, PSA from the both of us on that point. If you're making a Smash Machinima, you gotta do fight scenes either by yourself or with someone that can hold the controller for you.
Exactly.
No fight scene will look good with CPUs.
Because CPUs don't move naturally. I mean, CPUs do some sick stuff in Ultimate. Don't get me wrong, but they still move very unnaturally.
Yeah. Alright, PSA done. No CPUs.
No CPUs. Also, do not use Robs as minions. Leave Rob alone. He's been hurt enough. Right? Poor Rob.
I feel like, you know who could be a minion character that you could just use a lot of and like no one really thinks of it?
Piranha Plant?
Game & Watch.
My Discord cut out again. Which character?
Mr. Game & Watch.
Yeah. It's true.
He's got like nothing to him. He's got like an interesting look to him that doesn't really like scream like natural character.
Yeah, it's weird that no one has used Game & Watch.
In one of my early episodes of Smash Games, I used him as in one of the challenges.
Oh yeah,
I think it was in episode 3. It was episode 3, part 2, that I had the characters fight the endless swarm of Game & Watches until they destroyed like the host one, I guess.
Yeah. Game & Watch makes a good minion. Also, like what Jason did in Broken, just use me in like anything that's not Brawl. That's the only use for Mies I can do, right? Because I hate Mies.
So I'm assuming you would never make a Mii Machinima.
I would see. I don't even have Mies on my select screen in Ultimate because I have not made any Mies, and they're not going to be on my character select screen ever because they're abominations and they don't deserve to exist. No, I just don't like self-insert Mii Machinimas.
But dRage, Erston in Smash, though.
Yeah. It's gotten better.
No, it has, absolutely.
He's like really improved. He's like really like taken feedback and criticism and like improved the series. I'm not gonna like trash on his series. But there's like some that aren't very good. And it's like I'm not a big fan of self-insert theories in general because a lot of people, especially when they're younger and they make self-inserts, they tend to make them like really boring. They're like the hero of legend and they're like ever and everyone loved them and all the female characters like so hot. And he beats all the villains and all the other characters like, oh, he's the chosen one, he's the greatest, he's the best. And I'm like, no. Oh.
Yeah,
I
get that.
This just makes your character boring. Like no, like being the best is not a personality trait.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to ask?
I did have another question, but I forgot what it was. I should have written it down. I'm an idiot. Oh, actually, this is something I need to ask more people. What's your favorite character in Dragon Brawl Z? Because I'm trying to figure out which characters work and which don't.
I really like Falcon for the sense that he's not like the typical Falcon. Sonic and Shadow, I think, work really well.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of people seem to like Falcon. Because a lot of people think he's the main character. Yes.
It's honestly harder for me to say characters that I like. I like most of your characters. I think you did a really good job of introducing them.
I feel like I did a good job at it now after I like changed the first episode like 2 times. Because like after I did like the first release of the first episode, the one that's like unlisted now because it got like claimed because of like a crouchier sound effect. That one was like the characterization for like Link and for example like the personality Link has not have that at that point. Lucario did not have.
I actually really like the way you wrote Link, where he was like he's like the chosen one, but like because he is the chosen one, he's like stop trying.
Yeah,
now he kind of sucks.
The inspiration for that came kind of like from Smash King because that was the first time I've seen a Link that was not the hero, and that really inspired me to like not do the same thing, but just portray Link differently. And I like figured, why don't I make Link like really arrogant and like really like lazy? Because no one has ever portrayed Link like that. At least not that I've seen. Someone's probably done it. It's the internet, everything's been done before.
That's true. That's a good mindset to have.
It's like as long as
I really don't like when someone's like, "Oh yeah, I did this first." It's like, yeah, but
okay. As long as you're not directly copying someone, I mean, unless you're like paying homage to something,
Like people have called me out for Smash games for using like the Game Master. Remember that old machinima?
No.
Okay, there was a machinima called Game Master. It's got like one episode in a part.
Oh yeah, it's like that kind of machinima. Like we had a lot of those back in the Brawl days. That's why. Episode.
Yeah, and then people have called me out on like copying them.
Yeah, because you used the concept of a game master. Wow. That's dumb. Oh my god.
But it's like.
Yeah, I mean, that's like
whatever.
Everything's been done before. Like I said.
Like if someone wants to say I copied him, I'll be like, okay, sweet, but like, he made an episode and a half, and I have 10 episodes. So.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, as long as it's not directly copying, like, there's a machinima that basically directly copied Smash King. I mean, I'm not gonna name names, but we all know which one it is. And at that point, I think it's like just lazy. But if you're just like paying homage to something, I think it's fine. And especially like in your case, it's like it isn't even related. It's just the same term.
But yeah, actually, there's been. You said there's one, and like I guess there's one main one, but there's been a lot of people that take the.
There's like
that take the Smash King approach.
Whenever I see there's a tournament, and we have to get a team together to compete. Yeah. Why does it always have to be a tournament?
Because people like tournament arcs.
I know. I also like tournament arcs, but don't base your entire theories around the tournament. That's been done to death. That's actually why I had my tournament like be the introduction, and it's just you just see the finals and that's it.
Yeah, which is I think works well, honestly.
Also because it like gets all the characters together in one place, and you can that's actually like was my thought process behind it. I could introduce all the characters, just having them comment on the final match.
Or if you sorry, 1 second.
No, I'm done.
If you want to do a tournament arc, do something really original and have it actually finish without a villain showing up.
Yes, exactly. That never happens. It's always
actually. I would love to make just like an actual like tournament based machinima where there's no overarching bad guy, where the series is just the tournament.
Yeah, I mean I'm guilty of that because the third arc is a tournament arc, and it's probably going to be. It's either going to be interrupted by the villain or the villain hosts the tournament. But yeah, it's like
no, I think it'd just be fun just to have a tournament, and like I think I don't know if we'd be able to pull off now because we talked about it on this podcast, but just like where
the third arc
you kind of make like allusions to there being a villain, but there never is one.
That's not going to work for that context, but that would be fun to do in a series. Maybe I'll make that in an ultimate.
Oh, you're just gonna take my idea and make it? Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, we could. You know what we could do? We could do that for our collab, right? For a super edgy, super cringy collab. No, actually, it's like
Smash is in the he's in the chat. He knows now.
He doesn't know enough.
That's true.
He may never know.
That's true. All right.
Yeah.
No, we'll have to talk about this later.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to ask?
You cut out again. What did you say?
Oh, just is there anything else you want to ask?
I think I'm out of questions. Does the audience have any questions?
Smash is having a stroke.
Yeah.
Smash just breathe deep and seek peace.
Yes, people are doing collabs nowadays. Maybe one day one of them will actually be released. Like for like the past year, I've been like planning a collab with Jacer, Wise, and like if we pull it off, it's gonna be super sick. Planning it takes forever.
All right, but if you're out of questions,
no questions. Smash.
I haven't seen any pop.
Smash feels like the kind of guy who would want to ask a question, but I guess not.
Yeah,
May-
Smash does seem like the question guy.
I guess he died from the excitement that people are doing collabs.
Yeah. Alright. Well, this has actually been now like the longest episode of the podcast, I think.
Oh damn, it is late.
Yeah, we've been going for almost 2 hours.
Ooh, I didn't notice. I tend to ramble.
Time flies when you're talking about
I
stuff.
tend to ramble on, I guess.
I mean, it wasn't just you. We were both
That's
talking.
true.
That's how podcasts work.
Huh, now that you mention it, it's kind of crazy, right? Oh, will I do God stuff? I don't have plans for it now. Not really. I mean, sort of, kind of. There's like a bit that you could call like God aspect in like the final arc and like the overarching like plot. But that would go into very heavy spoiler territory.
Also, shout out to Mewtwo Million, who was here like just as we started the stream, and he's still here.
Yeah, he's a trooper.
He's been here this whole time, just listening to us ramble.
I haven't actually paying a lot of attention to the chat. I feel bad now.
It actually, to be fair, there never is too much on these because a lot of people just have it on and listen. I've learned. Like Isaiah's been listening while at work.
Galactic villains, not really. Like basically, Ganondorf is the Frieza equivalent in my second arc. Like the second arc is based on sort of like Namek. And basically Freezer's Ganondorf, but I don't like borrow stuff like literally. I kind of like see what I can use and then kind of like use the theme of the arc more than anything. Like especially for like the third arc, I'm really going to deviate because I think like the Cell arc has a lot of problems in terms of writing.
Oh, it absolutely does. I mean, it doesn't take away from it being like my favorite arc.
Same for me. That's my favorite arc, but it has so many problems. Like there's like a YouTube series like called Dragon Ball Dissection by Mr. Fusion, and he like really takes it apart and really like points out all the flaws, and it's like really interesting. And I'm like, yeah, I totally agree. It's my favorite arc personally, but there's so many issues.
Well, like the funny thing that I love, like the biggest issue I have, one of the biggest issues I have is like it comes back and Trunks is like, oh well, Goku, if you had killed Dr. Gero when you attacked the lab, or when you attacked the base of the Red Rune Army, and it's like you go back and watch the original Dragon Ball, and it's like there's no mention of this supposedly like best scientist. Like you'd think they'd mention him if he existed.
Yeah, they mention another scientist who makes androids, and there's like, no, but we're not gonna mention Dr. Gero. No.
They mentioned what's his name, Dr. Frat.
It's like, yeah, this comes out of nowhere, and then, oh look, the villains are these two people. No, wait, the villains are these two kids. No, the villain is Cell. But Cell evolves,
well, actually,
and then he
do you
evolves
know
again.
why that
Yeah,
is?
I know. It's because his editors kept saying, no, that's like an old man and a fat guy. No, those are just kids. He looks creepy. Oh, now he looks dumb.
That would suck so much to be a Akira Toriyama.
If you're like writing, like, no, this is not good. Okay, I'll change it. No, this sucks. I was like, no. Yeah, I think we just keep like rambling on.
I think we will too if we don't end it here. So, oh, hang on.
What?
Jabron Golden has typed how.
How what?
I don't know. Never mind.
Huh.
Okay. Well, now I'm curious. What did you want to say?
Yes. Now this is, we can't let this remain a mystery. But I guess we may never know.
I guess so. I don't know. Any closing thoughts you want to say about the podcast?
The podcast in general, or this podcast?
just I don't know, whatever you want to
Yeah,
say.
I think it's like really good to have like a podcast about machinima in general, simply because it's like more content for the community that is not necessarily direct machinima, and it's like informative. Especially like, if you talk about like, I mean, we talked about like how we write, how we like do stuff. I think that's like really helpful to hear like other people's thoughts on how they approach machinima. Like for me, that's been really helpful. I think it's like a really good thing to have, and just interesting to hear like the different personalities and what they saw and how they approach stuff. So I think that's like a really good thing.
Yeah, which is well, I started it just because it's like not that many, like aside from Isaiah doing his marathons every so often, it's like we don't really have a lot of like events that aren't like actual machinima episodes, like stuff for the community.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's like always so much time that passes between people releasing episodes, talk, especially now on like Discord a lot, but there's like nothing we really put out in the meantime. It's also like a good representation of the community, I feel, for like people that are not as involved. Yeah, it was definitely fun being a part of this.
Glad you had fun. I had fun.
Yeah, it was great.
All right. I hope the rest of you guys enjoyed as well. So thank you everyone that came out to watch and chat in the stream.
Thanks for all the positive feedback and comments. And all the love you showed for me and Speed.
Yeah. As always, my dRage's channel will be in the description. Go there and subscribe for his awesome machinima content. My Twitter will be in the description as well, so you can follow me there for updates and stuff.
You should subscribe to Speed if you haven't, because he's gonna finish a machinima, right?
Oh man, you make it sound like that's such a big deal.
It is a big deal because almost no one has done it. We've talked about the machinimas that have like one episode or less out, and you're actually gonna finish one. It's insanity.
Yeah, like first loan, now you, and people are just like, oh my god, he's gonna like that's actually like that's some comments I get. They're like, oh my god, he's gonna do it. He's gonna finish one.
Madman, he's gonna finish a machinima that has over 10 episodes.
Oh yeah, and the last thing is I have a Discord server specifically for my channel. It's in the description as well, so feel free to join. dRage, are you in it? I think I invited you.
I'm not sure. I don't have an invite, but I can join.
Oh, well, if not, you can also join that as well.
Link. I know how the technology works.
Cool.
Me smart.
But yeah, so if you guys want to do that,
yes, join that Discord.
I also update stuff there. So yeah, I will see until next time. I will see you guys on the next podcast, or if it comes out first, the next episode of Smash Games, which should be out by the end of the month if everything goes well.
Hype.
All right, take care, and I'll see you guys.
See ya.